Floyd Cummings was an oddity in boxing, and that he was built more like a champion bodybuilder than a boxer. His story was like an exploitation movie come to life, a jailhouse boxing champion that was shuffled from arena to arena in handcuffs, with a nickname that sounded like a character in an adult video. Jimbo Cummings was born in 1949 and raised by his grandmother in Mississippi. Prison would be his home for the majority of his life, however, as he said, quote, "For a cat who grew up in a place like this, it's just a way of life. I got busted for the first time in 1957 when I was 8, was living in Mississippi with my grandma. She couldn't control me, so they sent me to the training school. It's just like a prison, only it's for kids, no big difference. Finally, they let me out, and I came to Chicago. Never had much of a life in Chicago, though. Got in with the gangs, and right off, I was in trouble. They picked me up in early January 1967, and I've been in ever since." Cummings would be picked up after murdering a grocer. Acting with 3 of his friends, Cummings entered a store where he once worked, robbed the place, and shot the owner 3 times in the head. At the age of 17, he would be convicted of murder and sentenced to 50 to 75 years in jail at the Stateville Maximum Security Prison in Joliet, Illinois. Now confined to a 6 by 10 foot cell, Cummings would do nothing but focus on developing his physique. He would begin boxing in June of 1974 as a federal grant allowed Stateville Prison to convert a dining room into an all-purpose gym. Cummings would come under the watchful eye of Jesse Vale, the prison supervisor of recreation, who got him into weightlifting at first. Cummings would begin his day by doing 300 sit-ups before going to his assigned duties in the gym. He would work up to bench pressing 400 pounds 10 times, maxing out at over 500. He would do dips with 100 pounds strapped to his waist, complete 3,000 push-ups, and then run 6 miles. After 8 years of this regimen, he would weigh 235 pounds of solid muscle and had a 32-inch waist. Initially, his goal was to make the Olympic powerlifter, but nixed the idea when he discovered that his poundages weren't a match for Russia's elite lifters. Cummings then turned to boxing and became proficient at the sport quickly. In his first amateur match, he was paired against Billy Boy Thompson. Thompson was an amateur star who floored George Foreman during the Olympic trials of 1968 and defeated Ron Lyle in the National Golden Gloves. Cummings, however, would defeat the more experienced Thompson in back-to-back decision wins. Cummings would then be granted permission to compete in boxing tournaments outside of the prison, arriving at different arenas with his hands and legs in chains. He would go on to win the Illinois AAU Heavyweight Championship, among other titles. In 1976, however, the United States Olympic Committee denied him a chance to compete at the trials because he was still incarcerated. Cummings would get paroled and make his professional debut in June of 1979 at the age of 29.
The big man is stalking the small man. They're both over 200 pounds.
Wallace decides he'll mix it up a little bit. Both seem to have a little street fighter in them.
Oh, yes, yes. Particularly Wallace.
Outside the ring, being counted out. The fight is over. Right now, the concern is for Vic Wallace's well-being. He went out and fell down on the table. Right now, the doctor, trainer over administering to Vic Wallace, who was on his way down, was hit hard by Jumbo Cummings, went through the ropes and landed on the press table here.
He would go 14-0 in his first 2 years as a pro before taking on fellow prospect Ronaldo Snipes in a nationally televised bout. The fight would make headline news, not for its excitement, but for Cummings biting his opponent.
It has been a fight and not a boxing match. Uh-oh. I think they bit him. I think Cummings bit him on the shoulder. He jumped back from a bite.
I can't believe that. Bertie, have you ever seen that?
Yes, I've seen fighters bitten before. Not this
But obviously. You see that in a clinch? That was unbelievable.
All right, hold it there. Hold it. Step back, Cummings.
And that's where the goal is at, down there. That's where he's got to go to the mines, because Cummings is exhausted. Those body punches will finish Cummings.
Look out for the bite.
Hazard may get bit trying to break him up. Beautiful overhand right by Snipes. Beautiful
Uppercuts now by Snipes. And Cummings looking exhausted again. This could be it right here. Cummings just hanging in. Snipes looking to end it. 50 seconds left, round 6. And the referee, Larry Hazard, breaks the fighters.
Cummings looking in desperation for that one punch, but he can't find it.
Left hand by Snipes, but Cummings hangs on. Back in round 6, the obvious bite of Jumbo Cummings on the shoulder of Ronaldo Snipes. Here it is.
Look at that. Now, if that's broken the skin, it would require a tetanus shot. One of the worst things in the world is to break the skin with a human bite.
So Jumbo Cummings, who is able to unleash on Snipes, and Snipes is shaken. Cummings landing on Snipes.
Snipes got himself in trouble with the right hand. He better start doing some punching.
Snipes backing up in big trouble. Jumbo Cummings with a rally here in round 9. Uppercut by Cummings. And again Snipes is hit. Backing away from Cummings. That is time remaining in this 10th and final round. Ronaldo Snipes and Floyd Cummings in a slugfest, slowing down here, obviously, in the 10th round. And they will go to a decision.
He would go on to lose the decision, but 9 months later, Cummings would be back on the world stage, this go around against the legendary Joe Frazier, who at the age of 38 decided it was time to make a comeback. "I'm not afraid of Frazier," Cummings said before the fight. "I'm afraid of killing him."
He's thrown some of them tonight. Round 8. A good right uppercut from Cummings. That was a solid one. Cummings is backing Frazier up now with some good body punches and shots to the head. Frazier fighting back with a good left hook to the jaw that temporarily stopped that press into the ropes. Another good right uppercut, followed up by some other punches, and those are landing. And Jumbo Cummings is all over Joe Frazier. Frazier is leaning on and holding on. Cummings senses this could be it. He's right over us, pummeling Joe Frazier. Frazier pushed back into the ropes, taking a lot of body shots, trying to fight back, but taking the worst of it. Maybe the endurance factor has finally entered in. Cummings has Frazier pinioned to the ropes, leaning on him. Oh, a good solid left hook, and that shook Jumbo Cummings' head back with a snap. Into the body, both fighters going at the body. Cummings the first one to elevate to the jaw again. Study his homework well, the same punch. Now Frazier's leaning in on Cummings. They're wailing away at each other. Frazier up against the ropes, looking very, very tired, perhaps a little older than he used to. Cummings, it's a little bit fresher than he used to. Cummings leaning up against the ropes, Frazier back on him. And that's it, folks. We're going to have a decision. And they are hugging each other. Joe Frazier, the man he inspired to a boxing career, Jumbo Cummings. Cummings used to watch Frazier when Frazier was an up-and-comer. 3 votes a draw. It is a draw. Joe Frazier has the first draw of his career.
The draw would be disputed, but the majority of the press focused on how bad Frazier looked, and not how Cummings was robbed of a rightful victory. Cummings would then go on a losing streak, getting knocked out by Jeff Sims and dropping decisions to Larry Frazier, Mitch Blood Green, and Tim Witherspoon. He was brought in as a stepping stone for the up-and-coming Frank Bruno in 1983, but still had enough left in the tank to give the British prospect some trouble.
Suddenly the young prospect has come unstuck. Oh, how he's come unstuck. One big right hand from Cummings. And if that bell hadn't come up, then that might have been the end. And now they've got to get him round for round 2. This was it. There it was. What one socking right hand brought him to a standstill. His legs are gone. And I don't know how he got himself back to the corner. Look at that. Fell into the arms of Lawless, and Lawless took him back, and Lawless has to bring him out for the second. Got him out in some sort of condition, but Cummings knows what he has to do now. And Bruno's hanging on desperately, but he looks as though he's gone to me. The young man doesn't know where he is. So the man with the big punch wasn't able to take the big one himself when it came. And that was one of the questions we needed to know. And again, that right comes over, and Bruno somehow hangs on. He's still not gone down. It may be only the ropes holding him up. Cummings tries to size him up for one more big right, and it's there. It's there again. On again, hurt. And the support Bruno is getting in this arena is really quite remarkable. Oh, there's the right. He's found him at last. There's the big Bruno right. That's the one he's been saving. And Cummings wishes he'd saved it a bit longer. Now then, can the big American survive it? He's got it. First knockdown. What a sensation. He's made it to his feet, but his legs are gone and he's counted out. Boy, Jumbo Cummings has been stopped for the second time in his life, and faster than he's ever been stopped before.
Frank Bruno would later describe Cummings as being the hardest puncher he had ever faced, including Mike Tyson. Bruno said, "Jumbo Cummings was the hardest one because he caught me round a temple, and I didn't know if I was flying on a Concorde or second class on a train." The Bruno fight would be the last ring appearance of Cummings. A year later, he would be convicted of armed robbery and kidnapping, serving another 12 years. He would be released in 1996, but the criminal life was in his blood. Only 6 years later, Cummings would rob a subway on Chicago's South Side, pulling off the robbery with another man and woman. His male accomplice wielded a baseball bat while Cummings duct-taped the cashier's mouth. The trio would come away with $250 and a video cassette recorder. Cummings would be caught and blame his criminal actions on drug addiction. Under the Illinois 3 strikes law, he was sentenced to life in prison at the Menard Correctional Center. In 2008, while still incarcerated, he would file suit against ESPN Classic for rebroadcasting his fight against Joe Frazier without his permission. In the lawsuit, Cummings stated that his name was cheapened and made notorious, and that he was subjected to the contempt, ridicule, and inquisitive notice of the general public, and his peace of mind was disturbed and destroyed, among other things. Cummings asked for $50 million in damages. A federal judge dismissed his case. He would be incarcerated for 14 years until being paroled in 2016 at the age of 66, and he currently remains a free man.
Scheduled exhibition rounds between Larry Holmes and Jumbo Cummings, and Cummings stung him in the
second round with a right hand. And let's see if he opens up a little bit more here in this round. There's that quick combination. Whole of a left hand leading it, followed by the right. He's asking Cummings to be a little more active. Some of you may remember that Jumbo Cummings in his fight with Ronaldo Snipes, a fight that Cummings lost, he bit Snipes. I don't think that's so terribly uncommon when you're getting hounded by somebody. You've got to do something, and Jumbo bit him. He threw the right hand with some authority that time, and he caught Cummings on the side of the head coming in. It's Paul Benty, the referee. I think the crowd is trying to get Holmes to open up a little bit. So far, he really hasn't thrown any heavy punches, at least in this round. Got about a minute to go in the third of 4 rounds scheduled between these two, with Holmes having gone 2 rounds previously with Mitchell. Opens up a little there, and he rattles Cummings some with that right hand. Jumbo comes back and takes a right and a left to the top of the head. There's a good left hand snap to the face of Cummings, as Larry Holmes opens up a little bit now in the last 30 seconds of the round. Quick right, jars Cummings at the bell.